Welcome to this short screencast of how to create a microservice using the Fabric8 Microservices Platform. So first thing we're going to do is open the team that we're going to create the microservice within. And we're now on the team dashboard and there's no applications here, so it's asking us please create an application. So let's do that. So we click create application. We can now have the option to import from an existing Git repository, or we'll just go ahead and create a brand new application from scratch. Now we get faced with a whole raft of different kinds of applications we can create. We could create an integration application, a microservice, a Wildfly Swarm. The microservice default is a Spring Boot application. We've got functions here, we've got Node.js, Rails, Spring Boot, Swift, and various other things. We're going to go with a Spring Boot based microservice, so we'll use the default microservice template, and we're going to call this microservice Awesome. And we'll click Next. Now the wizard is going to present us with a list of continuous delivery pipelines to choose from. And in this particular case, we're going to use the Canary release, stage, and approve, promote pipeline. What that's going to do is that's going to create our release. It's going to run some integration tests in a new environment, check that the integration test passed, then it's going to stage it. Once it's been staged, it's then going to wait for human approval, and then once we approve it, it's going to release it to the production environment. What Fabric8 has now done is it's created a Git repository for all of our code. It's created a Jenkins build to implement the continuous delivery pipeline. And then it's also registered webhooks, so whenever we make a change in Git and we do a Git push, it's going to kick off another release build, which is going to run the whole CD pipeline again. The integration tests have just passed. You can see we're just staging the release right now to the staging environment. It's blue right now. It's going to go green any second when the whole thing is started and it's ready. Blue means it's starting a container, and then green means it's actually ready, using a readiness check. There we go, we're ready. So now we can try out our new microservice in the staging environment. If I click this little icon here, we're now going to test the service, and it comes up immediately and we get a lovely hello fallback message, which we'll explain later. So now we can link and view the running pods. We've got one pod right now for this service, and we can look at its log and see its IP address, see the Docker image that's running, and so on and so forth. We can also look at the replication controller, or the blob of YAML, which defines how many replicates to run and the various metadata, the labels and the pod image and so forth. We've also got a link to the Jenkins build which created this release. And we can look in the Jenkins build here and look at the log and so forth. There we go, that's the build that just did it in Jenkins. We can look at the last Git commit to create this release. There we go. That's the last Git commit, which is adding the Jenkins file. And then we can look at the docs. So this is all the statically generated documentation for the project, such as the Java doc, or things like what's the dependency information of the project. So there we go, we've got a new release staged. If we're happy with this, we can proceed and approve it. So let's approve this release, it looks good to me. And now it's going to deploy to the production environment. So we can see grey means it's starting, blue means it's starting up, it's almost ready. And then when it's ready, in other words, when it's ready to receive requests, it will go green. There we go, and let's check if it works in production. Yay, it works in production too, awesome. Now let's look at the source code, and let's look at some Java code that implements this microservice. Let's look at the controller. Notice it's using Hystrix, and Hystrix is going to invoke this RESTful service which doesn't exist yet. And if this fails out within 5 seconds, it's going to return the fallback message. Let's edit that fallback message to something even more awesome. Hello, awesome fallback. Save. So now we're going to kick off, another build will be kicked off automatically. This will then create the image, it will run the system tests again, it will go into the staging environment, And then if we approve it, it will go to production. Here you can see a rolling upgrade happening in the staging environment. So the new version is just spinning up. Once the new version is ready, 102, once that's up and ready, 101 will be terminated and we'll have the new release in the staging environment. There you go. So we've now got 102 is running in the staging environment. Let's check if it's running. Hey, awesome. Oh, typo. And let's approve it. And there we go. We're doing a running upgrade in production as well. The new pods spin up and they're blue to start with until they are ready. In other words, their readiness check returns true. Once the VM has started up and it's all working correctly, it will go green and then Kubernetes will terminate the old release. And there we go, 102 is now in production. Awesome. Thanks for watching.